Hi guys, it's Jamie here. Today we're going to make a Christmas wallet that holds an advent, in other words 24 sides of journal. To make the cover I'm going to use a couple of sheets of music and glue them together to give them some strength. This happens to be Christmas sheet music, but you can use any. My measurements, but you don't have to follow them, is 27 centimetres, 10.5 inches by just over 7 inches or 19 centimetres. It will get trimmed up though. To glue them together I'll use mostly Pritt stick and a bit of art glitter glue along the edges. The Pritt stick so the paper doesn't wrinkle. Put one piece on top of the other. Burnish it together. To make the cover we're going to do a bit of scoring. And the way we're going to score it is we want a fold over to make it like a wallet, but it won't be a full third. If this is 10.5 inches, I'm going to say about 2.5 inches as the fold over. I'm going to take that at 8 and score down there. I'm going to go to the right of that and score another 1/4 of an inch. And that will give me a bit of space. We'll end up with a spine on the fold. Like that, but we're also going to do the same on this side. So halfway is 4, but we want a spine, so I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch down from the 4 and 1/4 of an inch up from the 4, and that is the total scoring that we're going to do. And now we just need to bone folder those, all of them. Just repeat where the scoring is and make sure it's folded down on that score line so that it falls easily into place, and the same on this front wallet bit. The way we're going to add more strength and flexibility is to use napkin as our decoration on the cover. I like to use a napkin that has a white background. Take it down so that you're down to 1 ply. Most napkins are 2 or 3 ply, you just want the top one. And glue it on that way. Going to get our Mod Podge and liberally cover. And take our napkin and place it over, patting it down along those edges very gently. Burnish it down a little. I'm mostly concentrating on getting the edge down. I'm going to take another layer of Mod Podge over the top. Initially we're going to take 6 sheets of our Christmas digitals that I've printed with 2 sides, remembering I want a journal that you mostly write on, and cut them down to 8 inches in width. This is a rough cut down because we'll be cutting more to measure when the cover's fully finished. 8 inches from one edge to the other. Will be folded in half. The design doesn't fit on fully, but I think that's okay. So that's quite a nice starting page. It needs trimming down a bit more. The first thing to do is to take 6 double-sided printed papers and cut them down to your initial width. Once the papers are roughly trimmed down, very roughly, we're going to trim up the cover to get some straight edges, and it will give us an idea for the papers where we're going with that as well. Take it this way, and we want to trim off the excess on both of these sides as well. And you might need to burnish back in those score marks because they have got a little squash from doing that. We want these papers to fit height wise and width wise. First thing I'm going to do is cut the width. So I'm going to take some paper clips and clip everything together. You need to do this gently and slowly, and you can take bits away when they've cut through, if they cut through, to create some space as you trim it down. And now we need to look at the height. At this stage I'm going to round my corners, so I'll be rounding the corners on the cover, this fold over bit. I'm going to round the corners. To go around the edges, I'm going to use the soft brush and a vintage photo. Lightly go over the edges, the crease, and also on the inside. I'll be doing this on all the pages, and I've already done it on the cover. What I'm going to do is do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which means we take the central point and then 1 point above, 1 point below, equidistant. Do the same in the cover, central point, same distance between those holes. Using the book to make sure that we poke into that spine area, we're going to put a hole in where I've marked up. I'll use wax thread, 3 times the length. I'll go from the inside out, starting in the centre, go through, up to the top one, through that one. And we're going to come back up through the middle, the other side of that thread. And we need to pull everything tight and knot it off. So each thread is either side of that central one, and we're knotting over that central thread, not one way, not the opposite way. Only going to trim that lightly. Next thing we're going to do is on the fold, put a hole in here so we can thread through it, and then use that to make the tie. Halfway for that. And then we need to go down to this one. I'm pretty sure it's this way round, but I can never remember. Add the thread for the tie, thread it through. And no, a knot is not going to secure that necessarily, but we can put something over that whole area. A piece of paper or some washi or material across here to hold that in place. Got something we can just wrap round and round and then shove down through it to make a tie like that. Some scruffy material, tape and then glue it. We can glue some of that over. We'll need the all-purpose glue. When that is dry, we will trim off the excess. Now we're going to decorate the pages. I'm going to use scraps from when the papers were cut down, fussy cuts from the kit, and also I have done some die cutting myself so that we can just add a small amount of decoration or a flip or a tuck or a pocket onto the pages for added interest. Now with these we could add a bit of snow. For snow I'll be using the Sharpie. Yeah, that looks quite cool actually, so I'm going to let that dry. Big love heart there, but you'd want to put something underneath that, some Christmas style paper that's going to fit that effect. And I think the best way to do that would probably be to use the Mod Podge. We need to dry that off. We'll come back to it in a minute. I have some glitter here. Use a bit of the glue, go over some of these white bits. some of this off onto here. I'm going to put that over there to dry. We've got lots here. Got a big Father Christmas we could do as a pocket. Stain that one up a little bit. Which way for the pocket? We could go that way so it comes in. Now this is cut out, I'm going to put some vintage photo around the edge just so that we can define the edge. Put this top centre there. You've still got plenty of journaling space, and then that one can go in there. Tiny little Christmas decoration. Let's give this a bit of glitter. Might be something in here that works. I'm running out of these poinsettias, but I do like them. Throw one down in the centre of there, and that takes away from too much glitter. Put this one down with the Oohoo silicone glue because it's onto wood and paper. I've only got one piece of this rose lace left, but I think it goes well, and you can get Christmas roses. Again, because this is fabric onto paper, I'm going to use the silicone glue. Trim off any overhang in a minute. I'm just going to put the Christmas tree just in this bottom corner here. Actually have a whole Christmas village scene here. You can trim it to fit. That will do for those 2 pages, I think. About time we did a flip of some sort. I want a piece of double-sided paper. I'm going to cut the corners off. Fold that bit. This one will be to round the bottom of that and stain along the edges. Have that tuck behind there, so when you lift it up you have your Merry Christmas sign. This is the bit that is now going to get glued to the page. Oh, you have a fancy corner. Oh, we're in the centre pages already. Well, it has been a while since we did a pocket. Let's see what we've got that we could do a pocket with. Now we need to find journaling cards for inside that. This one's now been backed and edged and can go into that pocket. We're going to leave this page, I think, because it's pretty anyway. I think it's time to put some more lace down. The lace I have is quite large, so we could use it as a belly band. Some kind of thing that can go inside of the belly band, be used as a journaling card. I saw this printout and I'm going to use my gold die cut frame to frame that portrait. Put that card under that belly band, and she's now decorating that page. I have these die cuts that are red. They're not really poinsettia, but I'm sure we can fake it. I'm going to put this down as a very small tuck spot, which means that we won't be gluing all of it down, just a bit of it. I have these tiny tags from the kit, and they can be backed. I've backed a few of the tiny little tags here and popped them into that die cut. I've added some extra journaling cards to this because this is quite loose. I've also got a lot of fussy cuts from the kit, so I thought for simple page decorations we could use some of those. There we go. Don't think there are many pages left to decorate. We have a double wallpaper, I would call that looking page. And I've got this offcut, so we could do a matching pocket. Could round the corners. In the centre we could do a keyhole. I think this is my 1 inch. And just take a bit out, and of course staying around the edges. A little squeeze upwards so it's got some space there. Using more scraps, we're going to cut these into little flags for the top of the page. So you go from the outside, the open edge, to the inside, like that. From the outside edge to the inside. And the last one, let's do it on this one. Burnish down all of it. Got 2 double pockets on that page. Now we're basically at the end of the journal. We just want to put something on this page. We have some of the fussy cuts. In this corner we could do this white Christmas rose. Okay, open it out. It has all your 24 Advent days as pages. Added glitter and snow to this page. A pocket here. Flip, more journaling pages with some small die cut detail. Then we have a big pocket, a lace belly band with 3 journaling cards, a portrait, a couple of fussy cuts, a die cut made into a poinsettia, and a couple of the small tags. Flags made from scraps. A deepish pocket with a couple of tags, and a side-loading small pocket with more journaling cards. Finally, a couple of fussy cut details in the corners of the final pages. And that is our Advent Christmas wallet.